Hello, good evening, everyone. We'll give everybody a little bit of time to get connected. In the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started with our award ceremony. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ayana Miller, the ACHE of South Florida 2021 Student Service Chair. I'd like to welcome you this evening to our Healthcare Leadership and Development Case Competition Award ceremony. We are really excited to present the awards to the participating teams and also to present you with two timely educational presentations tonight. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. So for this year's case competition, we had over 30 students from undergraduate and graduate programs from some of the best universities in South Florida. For undergraduate teams, we had Florida Atlantic University and University of Miami. And for graduate teams, we had Barry University, Florida Atlantic University, Florida International University, Kaiser University, and University of Miami. So the students did a really exceptional job on their approach to the presentation of the case study. Now, I'd like to kind of give a big round of applause to them because this was a lot of work over the past 3 to 4 months, and they really did a high caliber performance, each and every one of them. Now, at this time, I would like to go ahead and recognize the program directors. So for Barry University, we had Dr. Jeffrey Ritter. For Florida Atlantic University, Dr. Alan Whiteman. For Florida Atlantic University, Dr. Jennifer Atenito. For Florida International University, Dr. Tina Young. Florida International University, Dr. Michelle Kamiga. Kaiser University, Dr. Nina Dolores. University of Miami, Dr. Carolyn Mortensen. And University of Miami, Dr. Michael French. So we'd really like to thank the program directors for fostering the students' interest in the case competition and also for encouraging their students to participate. Next, I'd like to recognize our mentors who shared their knowledge, skill, expertise to guide the students throughout the preparation for the case competition. Now, our mentors are leaders from various healthcare organizations throughout South Florida, and I'd really like to thank them for their dedication and time that they devoted to our future healthcare leaders. I'd also like to thank our judges, our esteemed panel of judges. We really had an impressive panel of judges that lent their extensive telehealth and healthcare leadership experience to judging the case competition. So we had William Manzi from Memorial Healthcare System, Dr. Michelle Thompson from Epic Medical, and Dr. David Mishkin from Baptist Health South. Now, a contribution is going to be made to the ACHE Fund for Healthcare Leadership in the name of our 3 judges, and then also in the name of our 9 mentors as a thank you for their service to the ACHE competition. I'd also like to give a special shout out to our Student Service Committee. So we have Kenneth Wong, Buki Ogunrinde, Adrian Parker, and Marla Sanfilippo. Thank you all for your time. You guys really devoted a lot of time, a lot of meetings, a lot of review of different information, and I really thank you for your dedication. I'd also like to thank our 2021 ACHE of South Florida Board of Directors. The board really does continue to be dedicated to the advancement of our healthcare leaders, and I thank each of you for your commitment. Now, at this time, I would like to recognize Ms. Barbara Detman. Ms. Detman is a fellow of ACHE and has served ACHE of South Florida's board in many capacities, including past president in 2014. Now, Ms. Stuttman has pioneered and established the ACHE of South Florida case competition back in 2004 and oversaw the competition up until 2016. Now, we really salute her for her amazing vision and the passion that has led to what is now the chapter's most prominent student-related event. Thank you, Ms. Stuttman, for your dedication.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's amazing to see it, how much it's grown. It's heartwarming. So I really want to recognize all of you and thank you for everything and continuing the vision and the amazing torch and commitment that we have for our fellow students and you know, and building our successive, you know, our leaders. And so I really thank you all because this really is a best practice and you've taken it to the next level. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, at this time, I would like to recognize Kenneth Wong, our 2021 president of ACHE of South Florida. Now, for nearly 2 decades, Kenneth has enjoyed working with patients, physicians, hospitals, and the community to improve healthcare access and outcomes. Within healthcare management, Kenneth has held roles leading strategic planning, business development, marketing, physician, and community relations. Now, in the private sector, Kenneth has worked for several Fortune 500 companies within the pharmaceutical and medical device industry and received numerous awards for his efforts related to new product launches and market development initiatives. Now, Kenneth has been involved with the ACHE and also ACHE of South Florida, formerly known as South Florida Healthcare Executive Forum, 2013. For the past several years, Kenneth has served in various positions on the board of directors, including Educational Programming Chair, President-elect, and currently our chapter president. In 2018, Kenneth received the Regent Award, the chapter's highest honor for his dedication to improving, planning, and executing educational programs. He also was recognized by ACHE as one of ACHE's top achievers in 2019. Kenneth received his undergraduate degree in international business and graduate degree in international business administration and is a fellow with the American College of Healthcare Executives. So at this time, I'd like to pass it over to Kenneth for our welcome.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome and the recognition, Ayanna. I really appreciate it. And thank you everybody for taking time out and joining us tonight. It's been, it was amazing to see all the presentations a couple of weekends ago, and I'm really excited about hearing the placements tonight and the winner. I'm going to keep my comments brief, but I do want to spend a moment to share my screen. If you'll allow me just one moment. All right. Much of what we do throughout the year is funded by our sponsors, and this includes financial assistance that has been available to members, scholarships, and special recognitions such as the Healthcare Heroes Awards that was offered last year. I want to thank our 2021 sponsors and partners, including our exclusive platinum sponsor for 2021, Nova Southeastern University's Complex Health Systems Graduate Program. I'd also like to recognize and thank our gold sponsors, which include Barry University, D-Signage, Hill-Rom, Jackson Health System, J-Care, Memorial Healthcare System, and Vitas Healthcare. We're also thankful for the support of our silver, bronze, and media sponsors. And if you are interested in sponsorship, please be sure to visit our website and check out the sponsors tab for more information. If you are not a member and you're interested in learning more about ACHE and ACHE of South Florida, I encourage you to check out our website. You can see the website address there. It's achefsouthflorida.org. I also encourage you to follow us on our LinkedIn page. If you don't currently receive any of our e-communications, I encourage you to do so, and you can actually sign up now by texting ACHE SFL to 22828. You can see it right there, ACHE SFL to 22828. And then I understand that some of the universities may have filters that are blocking some of our correspondence. So if you are using a university email address, I'd encourage you to switch it over to a personal one, such as Gmail. And if you are signing up as someone new, please be sure to use your personal email address instead of your school or university one. Memberships for students are $75 a year. And I would encourage you again to check out our website or go to ache.org/students for more information. I think most that are attending tonight are current students of ACHE, so thank you very much for your support and your participation. I also want to take a moment to, of course, recognize the two individuals that got us to tonight. Ayanna Miller, who, as you well know, is the Student Services Chair for 2021. Ayanna Miller has been a member of ACHE since 2005 and attained her fellow status in 2008. Ayanna has been an active member of ACHE of South Florida, serving as 2019 Member at Large, 2020 Student Services Chair-elect, and 2021 Student Services Chair. She's dedicated to the mission and vision of ACHE of South Florida and takes pride in being a part of an organization that fosters continuing education, networking, and career development to its student members. Well, thank you, Ayanna, for everything that you have done to get us to this point tonight. And I also want to take a moment and recognize Marla Sanfilippo, who's the Student Services Chair-elect for this year. And Marla will be overseeing this case competition next year. But Marla has been in healthcare for 20 plus years and has worked with for-profit and nonprofit hospitals and healthcare systems. She has had various roles in healthcare leadership positions in the private and public sector and is currently the Vice President of Operations at Community Psychiatry. So again, I want to applaud you both and thank you very, very much for all that you have done to pull this together this year for us. I also, of course, want to thank our judges, all of the students that participated in the case competition, their advisors, mentors, everybody for supporting the chapter and for supporting this event. So thank you all very much. And Ayanna, I will turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you, Kenneth. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and move into our educational portion of the evening. I would like to go ahead and introduce Ms. Gina LaMancha. Ms. LaMancha is the Director of the Career Resource Center for ACHE. Her career spans more than 25 years in healthcare, covering a variety of professional settings, including academia, professional associations, regulatory compliance, consulting, and the provider side. In her current role, she leads all career development services, advancement, assessment, coaching, and support of ACHE members. So Gina, I'll go ahead and pass it over to you.
Thank you, Ayanna. Thank you, Kenneth. It's so wonderful to be here with the South Florida chapter. I'm here in the Chicago offices of ACHE here tonight, and I'm really appreciating the lovely backgrounds for most of you. I miss palm trees, I'm not gonna lie. Being in Chicago is tough, but hopefully you'll all get a chance at some point to visit our national offices here in downtown Chicago. The one upside, if there is one to COVID, is it's been very lovely in the city and easy to navigate, and traffic has been fantastic. So hopefully you're getting some of those benefits there in Florida too. I think I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, if that's okay. And Ayanna, I did, just let me know when you're able to see my screen. I'm getting a message that's telling me, oh, here we go. I did send slides, and please do feel free to share these with everybody in our event tonight. One of the things that I always like to talk to the chapter members, and especially our student members, is really just to help promote and create a much stronger awareness around your ability to make the most of your student membership through ACHE's Career Resource Center. I think it's one of those tools that until you really need it, you don't think about it and you're not going there on a regular basis. I would encourage you to take a different approach and really start to utilize the Career Resource Center, visit that, bookmark it, become familiar with that, and really start to own your career path and your career development moving forward. So let's dive in a little bit deeper into what the Career Resource Center is. As a student member, it's a great time to start to explore this and take advantage of this resource. Become familiar with it. This is our landing page. When you go to ache.org, you will see that there is a tab at the very top that goes to the Career Resource Center. And then all of our information is hosted here for you. The toolbar on the left-hand side gives a high-level pathway and roadmap for how you may leverage the Career Resource Center. And I'd like to really empower you to be motivated to start visiting this, using this on a regular basis, starting to become familiar with some of the tools and the resources that are available to you. You won't be using all of them 100% of the time, but the more familiar you are with them, the easier it will be to tap into those resources, recognize those, capitalize on those as you're really starting to define the context for your career as a healthcare leader. So hopefully you'll have an opportunity to do some of that. Our vision for student membership is pretty clear. We recognize that there is a lot of depth and value to ACHE, the membership, the association, and here you are through your chapter as well. And so we really want to encourage you to look at the association and tap into as much as you can with this. So that's not only the Career Resource Center, it's our journals, our magazines, policy statements, online resources and tools. You really need to go in and take advantage of those and capitalize on those as a way to take full advantage of your student membership. The student membership then becomes something that you're starting to build, understand, grow as you are part of ACHE, and starting to look at your path to becoming a fellow. So we're really looking at all of those different pieces. We want you to have exposure to a professional membership and association. The vision is for you to understand the value of that, the network that's available to that, start to gain some ground in the healthcare industry, have an opportunity to interface with key leaders in the field, better understand career paths that are available to you, understand the marketplace. How do you brand yourself effectively? What does your online presence look like? And I know you're going to talk about that a little bit further tonight. How does your online presence promote your executive presence as you are reaching out, building your network, and really growing in the healthcare leadership space? So we're going to talk a little bit further about some of these, but I'm going to dive into the Career Resource Center so that you have a better handle on some of the tools that are available to you now, and hopefully you have an opportunity to start taking advantage of those. On that left-hand roadmap, you'll see advancing your career is the first element. One of the very unique tools that we have at ACHE is what we call Career Edge. And there is a special student edition of Career Edge that's available to all of you. This is an online, self-guided career exploration and management and pathway tool that all of you can access at any point in time. It's a wonderful tool for really starting to explore what your career goals look like, articulating your value, defining your brand, and really defining what your path is going to look like in the healthcare arena. When we go to Career Edge Student Edition, this is what the landing page looks like. Start to get familiar with this. It's not something that you'll do in one sitting. It's a way to kind of keep coming back, getting used to the system, becoming familiar with the Career Resource Center, tapping into this. We do ongoing webinar support, networking events. There are self-assessment tools that are available to you that you can take to really define your work and career values, life and professional balance, looking at interests and personality traits, and really helping to articulate the language that you will use as you define yourself in the marketplace. There's also quite a few tools, resume tips, guidelines, interview samples, salary and placement statistics are here. There are live polls. You can include data feeds from Indeed, LinkedIn. So all of these are tools that I would encourage you to start to explore, take advantage of, start to work in, because as you're fine-tuning yourself and putting yourself out there as an early careerist in the marketplace, these are the types of things that you can be doing now through your graduate program to really help enhance that and make sure that you're presenting yourself in the best way possible. Let's talk a little bit about building your personal brand. This is another piece that you probably hear quite often, and it's work in progress. Some of you may have more work experience than others. Some of you are just starting out, but building your personal brand really starts to get at the language that you're using to define your skills, your competencies, your values, your marketplace value, what you bring to the table. This gets into resume development, interview preparation, leadership preparation. All of these tools are available through the Career Resource Center. We would encourage you to start to explore these, take advantage of them, start to download the tools that you find that are of value. We have a lot of services and support around resume critique, interview preparation and critique. But nowadays, as we're getting so familiar with the virtual environment, you really have opportunities to practice doing that, getting better at that, and fine-tuning your presentation online as you prepare for preceptorships, fellowships, and other opportunities moving forward. Seeking new opportunities. One of the things that we hear most often from our members is that the job center is really the highlight, the crux of where everybody goes to really take advantage of the Career Resource Center. And I'll tell you why. You know, ACHE prides itself on really presenting and offering a very robust job center. Now, the caveat that I will add to that is we're not really looking at a lot of entry-level positions, but that's okay. For you, as you're starting to grow and think about opportunities, my advice to you would be to start tapping into the job center and starting to look at the types of opportunities that are of interest to you. What are the titles? What are the industries? What are the qualifications? What are the competencies and skills that are defined? This is just your due diligence and starting to get a better handle on what's out there. The diversity of the healthcare industry overall, the marketplace diversity, how you can take advantage of that, and then really crosswalking that back to your brand and your ongoing career development. So what are some of the skills that you're recognizing you need? Where do you maybe need to develop further? Take some additional training. Think about projects and things that you can contribute to in your work experiences now that are going to help enhance that career path and that vision for where you see yourself moving forward. You will see on our job center, we do have the postgraduate fellowship links are also listed here. That's another great place to start looking at information, get an idea of what they're seeking, what's interesting to you, what do you gravitate towards, what are the types of positions that you find yourself very attuned to, and how do you define yourself so that you are positioned well for those opportunities. So start to explore this and get more familiar with it. Finally, developing your network. We talk about this a lot, and that's why you're here in your chapter locally, and then part of the national organization of ACHE as well. Hopefully you have joined ACHE's official LinkedIn group, but I know that Kenneth talked a little bit about some of the specific career forums that are available through ACHE. These are things that you want to start looking at now. There is a specific forum for early careerists and students. When you go to those pages, you'll see specific tools, resources, articles, guides, books, all kinds of things that will allow you to really start leveraging your association and membership to develop your network further. I think the value of the chapter is you're able to do that in a geography that's local. And so when we get back to having in-person events, but also virtual events, that's a great network to start with. Now you need to start thinking about, how does that grow? What does that look like beyond South Florida? What does that look like within the context of the greater membership of ACHE? And that's really the beauty of being able to be involved in an organization like ACHE. So as I said, this is all on the website, and I'm hoping that this makes it easy and gives you a pathway to start to explore after tonight's event. But you'll see the ACHE forums page is here. I would encourage you to start to explore these, take advantage of these, and make sure that you're leveraging as many resources through ACHE's Career Resource Center as you can. One of the last things that I'd like to talk about is a most recent ACHE Student Associate Career Development course that we just put together and launched during Congress. This is a course that is designed to be an introduction to professional association and membership via ACHE, but also to promote your local chapter involvement, exposure to national events such as Congress, but provides a path for ongoing professional development, career growth, and fellowship designation. So you're starting to look at the big picture of what that's going to look like for you in your career. It is an 8-module course. It is complimentary. We host this on our website, and I'll provide the link here in a moment. It's easily accessible. You can sign up for this. It is delivered through our learning management system. And once you do that, you have a full year of access. There are tons of resources and tools. Our goal was to consolidate everything and make it easy for you to access based on high-level topic areas. So you'll see the 8 modules here are divided into just an introduction to ACHE, developing your personal mission, vision, and values, looking at interest inventories and how that influences your career direction, your personality through Myers-Briggs, and making those preferences work to your advantage and leveraging that in the right way, creating professional resumes and cover letters, your online professional identity, so LinkedIn, but everything on social media as well. The interviewing evolution, being prepared to talk about and respond to behavioral interview, situational interview questions in a virtual forum and or in person. And then the new networking model, really thinking about how you're building your network intentionally, strategically, staying connected, and making sure that you're doing that in a meaningful way. As I said, this course is now available. We just launched it. We piloted it here in the Chicagoland area with an MHA program locally, and we've done that now for 2 semesters, and we essentially consolidated all of that. It is here on ache.org. You will see the direct link is here on the bottom of the page. And once you have access, you can go in at any point in time. You can go through the modules at your own pace. They're not necessarily sequential. You can do it in a way that makes sense to you. Tap into the content that is most appealing to you. Download what you'd like, view what you'd like. The goal was to make it easy, accessible, and put everything together so that you could really take advantage of this as a student member. So with that being said, I know you have a lot of awards to give throughout the evening here. I will stop my screen share. This is just again, a landing page of the Career Resource Center. And I hope that you'll take advantage of some of these resources. I hope that you'll reach out to me. I'm always here to support all of you. That's my role, and to partner with the chapter. So Ayana, thank you for reaching out to me and inviting me tonight.
Thank you so much, Gina. And that information was definitely on time. I know I can speak for myself. I became introduced with ACHE while I was doing my master's. And it's been pivotal just going through with career development and then also moving through and becoming a fellow. I really do encourage everyone to not only become a member, a student member, but continue on with membership. And once you do become a member, definitely make the www.ache.org one of your favorites. And I'll also ask that you make www.achefsouthflorida.org one of your favorites as well. But thank you all, and thank you so very much, Gina, for taking the time to do that presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Kenneth for the introduction of our next educational presentation.
Thanks, Ayana. And thank you again, Gina, for all that amazing information. Lots of stuff I didn't even know about. So I'll be circling back to the website and checking out some stuff there tomorrow morning. The next program that we are presenting tonight, or actually I should say Professor Molinet is presenting tonight along with his colleague Dan Cornley, is personal branding, and specifically leveraging LinkedIn. And to give two of these gentlemen proper introductions, I'd like to start with Dan. Dan currently works at Florida Atlantic University as the Graduate Business Career Specialist and oversees the professional development for all graduate students in the College of Business. Prior to FAU, he worked in the private sector as a director of partnerships and a recruiting specialist at Next College Student Athlete. He also has over 5 years of higher education experience as a recruiting coordinator and coach for Defiance College. Dan's passionate about guiding FAU business students as they prepare to launch into their dream careers. Dan holds a Master of Arts in Education from Defiance College and a Bachelor of Arts in Communication in the Business Scholars Program from Hanover College. So thank you in advance, Dan, for the presentation tonight. And I also want to properly recognize Mr. Rudy Molinet, Professor Molinet. Mr. Rudy Molinet earned his Master of Public Health and Health Administration with honors from Columbia University and his Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Hunter College, City University of New York, graduating with honors. He's board certified in healthcare management as a fellow of the American College of Healthcare Executives fairly recently this year. So congratulations on becoming a fellow, Rudy, or Professor Molinet. He's an executive coach in private practice and an adjunct professor at Florida Atlantic University College of Business Executive Program, where he teaches leadership to professional MBA, sport MBA, and executive Master of Health Administration students. Mr. Molinet brings 37 years of senior healthcare management experience and C-suite level experience in operations, marketing, and sales, strategic planning, and board development in a variety of healthcare settings. These included nonprofit and for-profit healthcare organizations, home healthcare, specialty pharmacy, hospice, home infusion, outpatient mental health, inpatient mental health, physician practices, urgent care, and several businesses that he founded. Mr. Molinet serves as Chief Executive Officer of Artemis Synergies, Inc., a healthcare consulting and executive coaching firm. And prior to consulting, he served as Executive Vice President for Statlanders CVS ProCare Pharmacy, a national specialty pharmacy specializing in the care of people living with HIV, infertility, and organ transplants. Mr. Molinet has served on several nonprofit boards in many roles, including President, Vice President, Secretary, Treasurer, and Board Member. These include past President of the Board of Directors of Health Crisis Network in Miami, Florida, past President of the Rotary Club of Key West, Board Member of Just for Kids, a children's advocacy organization, and past chairperson of the Key West Historic Architectural Review Commission. He currently serves on the Planning and Zoning Board of the City of Wilton Manors. He was inducted into Sigma Theta Tau, the National Honor Society for Nursing. He has also worked with Equality Florida, the leading LGBT human rights organization in the state of Florida. He's a graduate of Leadership Miami and has received several awards for his advocacy work in equality, social justice, and children's issues. Mr. Molinet lives in Wilton Manors, Florida, with his fiance, Jeff Shearer, who is a psychotherapist in private practice. Quite an accomplished biography there, Professor Molinet. Thank you very much as well in advance.
That usually just happens when you're old. Just call me
Excellent. I will turn it over to the both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. And what we're going to do is Dan is going to run the presentation. I'll interject. So rather than asking questions during the presentation in the interest of time, if you have a question or a comment, type it into the chat. You won't be able to see other people's, but I will. And I'll try to answer them in the chat as I can. And if we have time at the end, we'll do Q&A. Okay? Take it away, Dan.
Great, great. Well, I appreciate the introduction, and I'm Dan Cornley. I am our graduate career specialist here at FAU in the College of Business, and I oversee the professional development of our graduate students. And super excited to talk about branding and LinkedIn tonight. You know, I figured we must be talking about branding because, you know, Professor Molinet and I have the same backgrounds. How about that? Okay. So I'll pass it on to you for a quick intro, Professor, and we'll get rolling.
Thank you, Dan. I think that Kenneth did a great job. I really like working with Dan. Dan has been instrumental in helping our students on a one-on-one basis in coaching them to excellence. And I'm really excited about this presentation. And I think he meant the background in the back as opposed to the background of our careers, just saying, because I'm older than you are, Dan. Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. All right. You got it. Go. So one of the things that we talk a lot about in our classes, and I speak with my consulting clients, is how important it is to network, right? And I think we hear that a lot, but as all of you know, especially early careerists, it's so important to get in front of the right people. Whatever school you're going to, you're going to get a good degree. What are you going to do with that degree when you graduate? Years ago, I worked for a healthcare hospice company, and they were really struggling with the word sales, and a lot of us in healthcare do. But you know, sales is not a 4-letter word, it has 5 letters. And selling yourself is so important. The other thing about branding that is really important, you're not just selling yourself, you're representing the organization where you work and where you study. So it's important that your online presence, especially LinkedIn, be a professional presence, not just for your own representation, but you're representing the organizations that you have listed there. So that was really all I wanted to talk a little bit about networking. And Dan, I think you can go to the next slide.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I will dive into LinkedIn here for the sake of time, and then we're going to dive into branding as well. So we're going to rapid fire some of these slides at you. But just a quick background, I was trained by LinkedIn. As you all work on your LinkedIns and keep them updated, don't think of them as your resume. Don't feel like, hey, I'm just going to copy paste what I've worked on my resume and throw it over there. Right? This is something where I can look at, you know, Professor Molinet's, you know, LinkedIn. I say, wow, this is great. Like I can be on the phone with him till 8 p.m. and someone I enjoy working with. You know, think of it that way, right? And recently I was working with an individual who coaches CEOs, and you know, I wouldn't go to this extent, but you know, they are talking about, you know, networking so well, the importance of it, that especially using LinkedIn, that you don't have to, you know, apply for a job. Like, you know, you network so well through LinkedIn, you know, you're sort of offered jobs that way. Okay, so let's really think of it in that manner. You know, why is this important? Again, we've gone through this. You know, we're on Zoom right now, right? I can't go out right now and say, hey, let's go get a cup of coffee. You know, that's not really how it works. And so, you know, this is a great portal, and it's blown up through the pandemic to connect with different colleagues, to learn, okay? And really think of this as like your highlights of what you've done, like your high level highlights, right? You don't want this like too far in the weeds where it's everything you've ever done, but it's the super highlight things you want people to know on a quick, you know, wow, this is awesome, okay, from that regard. Now, I'll dive into some of the nitty gritty within our profile, some absolute must-haves. And again, looking at this, you might say, Dan, this is elementary, my photo, right? You guys, I'm sure we've all been on LinkedIn searching for someone, and we say, well, where's the professional photo? What's going on here, right? And obviously there's some stats that LinkedIn gives, but make sure this is up to date. You know, find a way to have a super sharp photo that that portrays who you are as a professional, right? You know, and I think it is noted to be reminded. You know, another thing that is unique to you and that can make you unique is your background photo, okay, within LinkedIn. And so here's an example of two students that I've worked with, two very successful students after we've revamped their LinkedIn. One on the left, Lundy, she actually had a job offer because her LinkedIn was revamped, which is pretty cool. But, you know, make this unique to you. You know, what is it about you? You know, you can find some free ones online. You know, I've seen some people make them on Canva, which is pretty cool, but come up with something that is you, right? And again, think of it as that, hey, can I work with this person 60 hours a week? And, you know, make it absolutely you. So again, have that updated, okay? Now, working from top down here within your profile, you know, your title, okay, doesn't have to be who you are, right? It really should be attention grabbing. When someone rolls up and researches you, goes on the web page, okay, who are you, right? So for me, my official title is fairly long, but maybe it could be something like, you know, helping students find their dreams, right? Like that's a little corny, but you know, like it's different, right? It's unique, okay? But
is that corny because your name is Cornley?
Absolutely,
Got it.
110%, absolutely. But you can see Professor Mollay's here. It's here. It's straightforward. We know exactly who he is. You know, that's also really important from there. Okay, and I love his background as well. I have to notate that. It's one of my favorites. So, education. Make sure we have this on here. Make sure it is also in reverse chronological order. Okay, just like it would be on a resume. All right, so you know, master's degree on the top and then bachelor's below. Make sure that's organized. Make sure it's tagged too. I see a lot that the schools aren't tagged, right? When people search folks at different schools to network, sometimes if it's not tagged, your information won't come up. Well, that's not good, right? We don't want that. All right, so make sure this is absolutely updated on your end.
Dan, just a couple of things on that slide I wanted to
Yeah.
highlight. For those of you who are still in school, it's perfectly fine to list your degree with an expected graduation date. So if you're at FAU or FIU or NOVA or UM, and you're in the MBA in healthcare program or the MHA program, Master of Health Administration, expected graduation date, December 2022, or whatever it is, that's totally kosher. And actually it's smart. The other thing about tagging that Dan mentioned, the why of that, is now all of a sudden you're going to be linked with all the alums, the alumni, and your fellow students, which is also a great source of connections and networking.
Yeah, 100%. It's very cool. Another unique, you know, a quick thing that we should all do, okay, is customize your URL. And a lot of us have our URL LinkedIn on our resumes, right at the very top. We have it next to, you know, where we live. Okay, so make sure yours doesn't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a whole bunch of letters at the end. And this is very easy to do. You just click on your name, update it, and this is something that is super sharp. It's your link. It's your own personal link. You can keep it. If you have a name like, you know, Smith, obviously you might have to put a middle initial in there, but you know, make it unique to you. Okay, and do this. And you'd be surprised how many I see that do not have that. Okay, so working down, we have our about section or our summary section. Okay, and so this is really, you know, an elevator pitch on who you are, right? Think of this as you're sitting down in an interview and they say, you know, Dan, tell me about yourself. Like, oh gosh, okay, here we go. You know, so you know, really work through this, and you can add some features on here, but this also, some of these keywords when people search for you, right, that will be, you know, visible as well. Some of these keywords that you're using, but you know, we have 40 words who are here or more here. This isn't, you know, an elevator, you know, ride, but like not on the Empire State Building, right? Like, don't make this super long. Some of these we see that are 3 paragraphs. The reality of it is no one's going to read that. Okay, so let's be concise. Let's make it sharp. And boom, who are you? What do you have? So obviously, Rudy does a great job. We know exactly who he is and, you know, where he's been. And so this is about the length that we're looking for. So sweet.
Dan, the other thing you see on mine there, that's a featured. So obviously I was very proud of the fact that at my age, I actually passed that exam. That was a killer exam. but well worth it. So I put that as a post and I made that a featured post. So when people come onto my page, that's what I want them to see. And so if you've done something special, you've gotten a special certification, one of your passions, right? This is a great way to just focus people in. Of course, we're in healthcare and FACHI is the credential, and I can't stress that enough. I know the speaker from Chicago said the same, Gina, and you know, one of the great things now is that you only have to be an ACHE member for 1 year. It used to be 3. Of course, there are other qualifications, your degree, experience, the face-to-face credits, community service, interviews. But imagine that if you are in a 15-month or an 18-month MHA program, as most of the ones in our community are, that all of a sudden, by the time, if you could get all those credits in, and given that you have the work experience, imagine that you've taken all this knowledge in your master's degree and it's pretty fresh in your brain, as opposed to in my brain, which I learned this stuff 40 years ago. It was tough, I'll tell you. So if you could do it when it's still fresh, imagine how well you'll do on that board certification 6-hour exam. So just be mindful of that. I know I encourage my students to do that. And I really would encourage all of you students to, or anyone on this call, frankly, really get on that train. It is hard, but it is not unachievable. And I got to tell you, I had 11,000 views on my post, no exaggeration, when I announced that I had gotten my FACHI. My LinkedIn has blown up. So it's not just a bunch of letters, guys. It's an important credential. For me, I was actually able to be credentialed to teach additional courses at FAU. I don't have a doctorate, I'm an adjunct, but because of the FACHI credential, that helped credential me further. So I can't stress FACHI enough. That's it.
Awesome. Very cool. So next part of this, descriptions of your experience. So a lot of times, what you'll see is, hey, I'm going to take what I have on my resume and copy paste it over. Let's not do that. Let's think at a high level what you've done. Okay. And of course, this matters to where you want to brand yourself to, like where you want to go. And so you want to pick and choose your top level skills on where you want to maneuver. Okay. But show examples. It doesn't have to be super long. Don't copy paste it, reword it. Okay. To make it look super, super sharp, and make sure you have something on there too. Right? Let's not leave it blank either. Okay. Use examples of your work. When I was a director of partnerships at NCSA, on my LinkedIn, for example, I have a little video that we created. It was a SaaS product that we created. So I added that, right? Something unique, a nice visual. If you have anything like that, do that as well. People love visuals, right? A lot of pictures, things like that. That will absolutely go a long way. Okay. Another unique thing is something that, and this is new, that LinkedIn has created, is their badges. Okay, and these are free. And so a lot of the times you'll see, we'll have, hey, we need you to be proficient in Microsoft Office or Excel. Okay, well, LinkedIn has actually gone a step above and said, we're going to give you a test, and then we're going to put a badge on your LinkedIn profile to confirm you know what the heck you're talking about. Okay. So I would recommend you go through this skill assessment badges and add these on your LinkedIn profile. It just adds validity to what you're saying on your resume, and the more trust, right, leads to potentially more, offers or job offers or wherever you want to go, right from there. So definitely make sure you update some badges. Another fun one is, and this is new, this is a voice recording. I'll have mine. I did record it earlier. I don't know if it'll let me do it. Probably not. But this, you have to download the app for this. Okay, so you can't do this online. So download the app, and this allows you to record your voice, right? It makes it real. Somebody looks you up, and they're able to hear your voice. Pretty cool, right? It goes one step beyond what you're writing on paper. Okay, and so I would recommend to do this, especially like my last name. Who knows? Like, I don't even know why it's pronounced Cornley, but it's Cornley, Corn something. Who knows? I haven't got a straight answer. Okay, and especially for Professor Molinet, his is a little different as well. So now we know, right? And so for folks that have unique, names, or just want to make that realness come out, I absolutely recommend for us to do that. Okay.
And like Bucky, who's on the call, who goes by Bucky, right? So if you have a very long name like Bucky has, but that's who she goes by. Maybe she doesn't want to list that on her profile. Maybe she does in quotes. So like the politicians do, but at least then it humanizes you, right? Especially with a complicated name. And I think the other thing is it shows respect that you took enough time to make sure that someone had the tools they needed to pronounce your difficult name. And it doesn't even have to be a difficult name. I know people named Smith who pronounce it Smythe. So don't assume, right? So it's really great. It's great technology. I didn't know this. Dan taught me this, and I think I did it like 20 times because I kept messing it up, but it's very easy and it's free.
Yeah, that's an absolute great point. So let's get our foot in the door, right? So we built our profile, say, how do we leverage this thing, right? Like we're looking for jobs. We've all been there. We're applying for a job. We want to hear back, nothing. Oh man, that's so fun, right? Like this guy shivering right here. It's cold. We don't want to be in Chicago with Gina. It's too cold. Okay. So this allows you to really leverage your connection. Think of this. Some jobs now, they don't ask for a cover letter. We'll send a note to a recruiter or someone within the company that will allow you to make a warm lead, and maybe get your name pulled when you do want to apply for a job. I mean, heck, the last place that I worked at, we had a $500 referral bonus if we referred somebody. So no one on the other end, guys, is ever going to be like, why is this person bothering me? Especially if you make a smart connection. Maybe it's a school, maybe it's FAU, Miami or something. No one's ever going to be like, oh, why, screw them. No way. Like no one's thinking that. Okay. And also, Rudy and I were working on this last night. We said, you could also thank us on LinkedIn. Okay.
We were goofing, but I will say seriously, and the reason we put that in there is if you are a student or you're working in a company and someone comes and does a presentation, write them a thank you note in LinkedIn. It's a great way to connect. I know my students do it. They do it well. And I'm positive the other students who are not my students do it well because it's just smart. It's easy and it's free and it's a lost art. So thank people when they do something for you. It's just basics.
Yeah.
You don't have to thank us, but it's okay. We don't mind if you do, but you don't have to.
We don't need that. So another thing I always want to point out, and some of you may know this, but find, you have your top 10 company list, you search for them, right? And so I use this for Boca, regional here, and I just search for someone with the title recruiter, right? And lo and behold, it comes up with, there's 4 people that are recruiters that studied at FAU. Awesome, right? Ding, ding, ding. So I'm an FAU student. I can go in, I find Samantha Scott. Okay, she graduated from FAU. Now we have a connection. Now I can send her a note. And this is a real live example for our students here at FAU that they leverage and at least have a conversation with her, right? What are they looking for, Samantha? Things like that. So utilize this. It's oftentimes doesn't get utilized enough. And don't be discouraged, right? Sometimes some of these recruiters may not respond, but be super persistent within that process.
That's right. And those of you who go to UM or Kaiser or FIU, really work your alums. That's the one commonality that you have with the alumni, that they walked in your shoes. And I have yet to hear of an example of a student tell me I contacted an alumni and they didn't help me. It's a commonality. It's your people, right? It's your tribe. It's the people who went and walked in that same hallway or in that common area or had that really good professor that nobody liked, or the really great professor that somebody liked, like Dr. Antonino, who's on the line right now. But seriously, try to really work that connection because we're all human beings. And I think if COVID has taught us anything, is how much we crave connections. And so I know Kenneth came to visit my class and he was so excited just to be able to be physically in a room with people, right? And this is a great time for that, to offer that sense of connection, even though we only can do it virtually most of the time.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to give us a quick 30,000 foot view of branding here before Kenneth kicks us off and takes our screen sharing.
We have 7 minutes.
Okay, good. So branding is important, right? It's a way of communicating who you are to your target audience, right? I use this quick example. There's a huge difference between Delta and Allegiant. When I used to fly a lot, one has the cocktails, one you feel like you have to literally pedal to get off the runway. Right? They both make money, or did before the pandemic started, but you all get the point, right? That's their brand. That's who they are. And if you think about your brand, you have your personal brand, right? And then you have your professional brand. And sort of things are all, intertwined. So for me, right, personal brand, family, friends, strangers. My professional brand could be other recruiters, supervisors, colleagues, different clients that I work with. And so think of that. What does that look like in your life, right? Your sort of all-encompassing, brand from there. Another thing like this, this is really, unique. Where we all sort of interact, right? Like at this point, we're all sort of connected with ACHE, right? And so how I present myself, we're sort of all intertwined, right? Or if I, talk to a recruiter that wants to hire FAU students and they think, Dan, what the heck? He was late. He didn't sound good. What's going on with him? That could affect the students, right? That they want to hire. And then vice versa, they meet me and they say, wow, Dan's super sharp. He's great. I'm excited to hire his students. Okay. So think about how we all interact and intertwine. It's very important as we think of this as a group. Okay. There are some top things that I do want to touch on. Not going to read them. I'm going to go over them quickly. But really a brand awareness. And I want you to think of this from your perspective. And so a self-inventory that you can do is you can think about your traits, your passions, your values, your goals, right? And these are all things for me personally, right? I'm curious, I want to learn, I value education, my goal is to get a PhD. So these are all things that I want, but I challenge you to think of these for yourself, okay? As we move on. A personal mission statement expresses your core beliefs, your values, right? It shows what success looks like to you, right? And how do we get there? Well, we review self-inventory and then we create it. So for an example, right? A personal mission statement of Oprah, we all know Oprah, right? Hers is unique. I'm not going to read it all, but it's to be a teacher. Like, wow, like I would have never thought Oprah was this unique. Like she wants to teach, okay? Elevator pitch, I'm going to pass this on to Professor Molinet here briefly.
Yeah, it's something that you can just describe yourself. If you literally were riding on an elevator, not a very tall building, we don't have, well, I guess we do now in Miami. It's just really clear, concise. Hi, I'm Molinet. I am a professor at FAU. I'm also an executive coach. I'm really passionate about making sure my students have a great experience and that they leave the university with a great job. Done. Very short building. Doesn't have to be, you could be funny. I tend to have a warped sense of humor. Like you got to be careful with that when you first meet someone, it could backfire, but just keep it simple, keep it crisp, and make sure it fits you. Authenticity is really important. So don't try to be someone you're not. And a quick example, when I sold real estate in Key West, I had a real estate firm. I had a client who was coming in who was the CEO of a company. And I used to sell real estate like Tommy Bahama shirt, nice shorts and the sandals. And that day I said, oh, he's a CEO. I'm going to get really, dustied up. I had to like pull my clothes that I hadn't worn out in a while. And I went and picked them up and he and his wife and the 3 kids were like in beach wear. And he looked at me up and down. He's like, you're Rudy? I'm like, you know what? We're going to go to my house. I'm going to go change. He laughed. And he actually ended up buying a house because he ended up realizing, okay, just be yourself. And that is really important in whatever you do. Just be who you are. I think that's it, Dan.
Very cool. All right. So non-branders. You're not, I do not, right? For me, I'm not a adrenaline junkie, I'm not jumping out of planes. I don't say something unless I mean it. So think of that for yourself, and really dig, right? Like that's hard to say. Well, it's hard to sometimes admit, like I don't have a detailed memory. So everyone that knows me knows I write everything down with a pen, so think about that, be real about it. Another part of this, your contributions. What do you bring to the table? So for me, like I played college football. I have a football on there, right? I'm from Miami. I have the city of Miami on there. I worked at FIU. Right? I have all these things that makes me. And I would challenge you to think about your background and where you've been and make this little chart, throw it on here. I think it would be absolutely, fun on that part of it. And the last thing I want to talk about brand wise as this 30,000 foot overview, don't commit brand slaughter, right? When you kill somebody, it's manslaughter. When you kill your brand, it's brand slaughter. Okay. So we all have brand promises, right? So for me to be an engaged employee, I need to keep those, right? For you guys, it could be something different, but keep those brands and do not commit brand slaughter, okay? Our learning outcomes, we touched on LinkedIn, we touched on branding, awareness, and articulation. And again, I hope you all took something, at least one thing from this new. We may have a couple minutes for questions.
We do.
I'm not sure, but you tell me.
Thank you, Dan. I think, yeah, we have a couple of minutes. Thank you very much. Great job. It was a lot of material, and we really just wanted to give everyone an overview, and Kenneth had asked us to stay on time, which we did. But in the chat, there were two questions real quick. One I answered in the chat, which is, should you have a professional, is a professional photograph necessary? And my answer to that was, if you want to look professional, get a professional photograph. So yeah, and I got my mugshot, which I can, I'll stop my video, you can see it. I got that at ACHE at Congress 2 years ago. It was free. A lot of universities are doing it, some employers, and if it isn't, it's a couple $300. It's the best money you will spend in really presenting your best foot forward. The other question that was asked was, how does what you like, post, and repost impact your LinkedIn brand? And that's, I'm leaving that one to you, Dan, because you're the expert.
Sure.
So the things that you like, post, and repost, how does that impact the brand?
Yeah,
and then you can take off your screen if you want. So we can also, I got it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so it has a huge impact, right? So this goes on to, you know, your feed. When your connections look at you, you like something, that will go on to your other connections. And so if you like something that's controversial, they'll see that, right? You know, so yeah, that could have a huge impact to what you do. And you know, it is recommended to, you know, post and to be active and to do these types of things, obviously in a professional manner. But you know, I'd say if you wouldn't do it in the workplace, I would obviously not recommend to do it on LinkedIn. We should keep it very professional. So hopefully that answers it.
That's right. And I think that it's important to remember you have a personal life and you have a business life, and you need to keep that in mind, especially in social media, right? Make sure your privacy settings on your Facebook are uber private. Don't invite people from work on your Facebook. Never invite people you interview with on Facebook. It could really bite you. And think about that on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your professional page. Stay away from politics because it never works. It never works. Trust me, I've been there on my own. I've learned that lesson personally. So try to remember just the rule of thumb. What would be appropriate to discuss at work? That's what you have on LinkedIn. What you want to talk about with your friends and your family and so forth, that's for Facebook, and it should not meet. A lot of people now have a professional Facebook page and a personal Facebook page. So the professional one, it is a good way to reach people, post only professional stuff, business articles, etc., healthcare, etc. But on the professional side, keep it professional. And Kenneth, I promised you we would be on time, and we are actually 4 minutes early, so go.
Thank you. Thank you both. Ayana,
you.
hard stop at 7:10? Is that?
The hard stop was
Yeah.
7:10, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because there was an additional question, if you're okay with it, that popped into the chat. It was a DM, but it was, how do you add the Facci to the featured spot?
Oh, how did I do that? So that is what is called a featured post. So I posted to let everyone know, because I was really excited and proud about my Facci, and I used that logo. I got that from ACHE's website. And so you can feature whatever post you want, but it was a post. I don't know that we have a Facci badge. It'd be an interesting conversation for Gina. It would be a great thing for ACHE to do for us, just saying. But I know that at FAU, we're actually working right now on getting badges for our certificate programs, because we have several leadership and other certificate programs, because people are really using those. So just post whatever, you know, post. I'm proud to be I'm proud to be board certified in healthcare management, because that's what you say, because you are board certified. Very important. Facci is the feature, board certification is the why. And in healthcare, that means a lot, right? Because we're used to physicians being board certified, nurse practitioners, nurses being board certified, right? So I always say that, and that's actually ACHE's official line. You are board certified in healthcare management as a fellow of the American College of Healthcare Executives. Just post it. Or let's say you've been one for 10 years. I'm really delighted to have been a Facci for 10 years, post the logo, and then call it a featured listing, and it pops up to the top like it did with mine. Dan,
thank you. Thank you, Rudy. And I do see one last one here, and it is, should your LinkedIn include non-career related jobs that you've had?
Well, that's a good question. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, so it depends on if it relates to what you're moving towards, right? So a volunteer experience, that would work, only if it's relatable. So you know, it depends on every situation, but you know, there is sort of a rule where you don't have to be paid to get experience in something, right? So, you know, there is a validity to that, but I would recommend, as long as it's not going to, like, as long as it makes sense and adds value to where you want to go, absolutely, you can do it. But if it doesn't really add value, it doesn't make sense, then, you know, I would pump the brakes.
I agree. Don't waste the real estate. Anybody else? Well, great questions, everybody. We really appreciate everyone's involvement. Thank you so much. I see some of my students on here and some of my colleagues and some of my fellow ACHE members. The last thing I will leave you with, because I started with it, was networking. One of the very best places to network is at your local chapter. And I have personally found that to be incredible. I work on getting a lot of speakers to come speak with my students. First place I go is my chapter, because I know these are locally passionate and committed individuals who give of their time. Once COVID resolves and we're able to be in person again, I remember in the old days when we could still see each other and shake hands, going to an event, there'd be 200 people there, right? And just bring lots of business cards and connect with people. Serve on a committee. You don't have to be on the board to be involved in the chapter. I told my students, get involved in a committee, because it's a great way, it's not just a great way to meet people, but it's a great way to develop your leadership skills. And you can put that on a resume. You know, you served on the membership committee of the South Florida chapter of ACHE, or you served on the student services committee or on the marketing committee. Very, very important. Get seen so you can get noticed. And that's it.
Excellent point and great concluding point, Rudy. We are always looking for volunteers. So if anybody wants to help out, feel free to reach out to us as board members, or you can send an email to info@achefsouthflorida.org. So thank you both very, very much. That was excellent. Awesome. Really enjoyed it. I hope everybody found some very useful tools and tips with what was shared tonight. So thank you, Professor Molinet and Dan. Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. And I know I have about a page of notes that I took from that presentation. So thank you guys for providing that information. And just so that you guys know, a copy or video of this awards ceremony is going to be posted to our ACHE of South Florida website. So, you know, if you weren't able to take notes, or you want to go back and listen to something that, you know, you found interesting, definitely go ahead and check it out. We should have that posted, I would say, within the next week or 2 weeks. Okay.
And Kenneth and Ayana, so if you guys, you know, ever want to have a smaller group version of this, I'm sure Dan and I would be very happy to do that, if students or any member of the chapter, because as I said, it's not just about finding a job, it's about representing your organization in the best light. So we'd be happy to follow up with another presentation at any time.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so at this point, we are going to go into our feature event, which is the announcement of our awards. So we are first going to go ahead and start with our undergraduate. One second. Okay, so we're going to go into our undergraduate presentation of awards. So for our undergraduate areas, we had 2 teams that participated. And so for our second place award, that award goes to Florida Atlantic University. Congratulations, Florida Atlantic University. You did a wonderful job with your presentations. So the members for Florida Atlantic University were Gina Stetz, Cassidy, and then also Samaya. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the the first place for undergraduate. And the undergraduate first place award goes to University of Miami. Congratulations, University of Miami. You guys did a fabulous job with your presentations. And so I'll go ahead and name off the members for the University of Miami's team. We had Sedona Rose Webb, Rishab Malhotra, Christina Jayarash, Bishara Randolph, and Julia Megan Platt. Again, congratulations, University of Miami.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll now, thank you. Okay, so now we're going to go into our graduate awards. And so the graduate awards, we actually had 5 teams that participated. And so our 5th runner-up for the graduate teams is Barry University. Congratulations, Barry University. You guys did a great job with your presentation. So the team members for Barry University included Alberto Abreu Ruiz, Saverio Malasardi, Jessica Njoko. Congratulations again, Barry University. Great job. So now we'll move on to the 4th runner-up award. And the 4th runner-up award goes to Florida International University. Congratulations, Florida International University. Great job on your presentation. I'd like to take the time to go ahead and announce the members of the team. Christina Del Monte, Ariana Murgatroyd, Rose Gellen, and Donalyn Borge. Congratulations again, Florida International University. Great job with your presentation. And now we'll move on to our 3rd place award. And our 3rd place award goes to Florida Atlantic University. Congratulations, Florida Atlantic University. The team members for Florida Atlantic University were Felicia Simaglia, Elizabeth Wren, Edric Barnes, and Sylvia Lane. Congratulations, Florida Atlantic University. Great job. And now we'll move on to our graduate 2nd place award. And the 2nd place award goes to Kaiser University. Congratulations, Kaiser University. The team members for Kaiser University are Anisha Hogg, Hamala Sharma, Nilsa Vera Ferrone, and Gretel Gallo. Congratulations again, Team Kaiser. Great job. And we'll now move on to our graduate 1st place award. And the 1st place award for our graduate division, University of Miami. Congratulations, University of Miami. The team members for University of Miami are Jason Greenfield, Alexander Gibstein, Jessica Griff, Serena Shaw, and Miriam Ghali. Congratulations, University of Miami. I'd really like to take the time to really congratulate every single team that participated. Each and every one of you put a lot of work over the past 3 to 4 months. It really has been a pleasure working with the students, also working with the program directors, having back and forth emails going on, the student service committee or judges. In the time of COVID, it's been a little bit difficult. We've had to do a couple of pivots. Obviously, doing everything online via Zoom has made things a little bit more challenging, but the students have definitely stepped up. The caliber of the presentations were amazing, and we're really grateful that you chose to participate in the case competition. So I would like to give the students a round of applause again. Great job. I'm not sure, Kenneth, would you like to say anything at all?
Just thank you all again for participating, for all the hard work. I really enjoyed all of the presentations. Thank you and congratulations. And Ayana, maybe you want to mention certificates are on the way along with.
Yes.
Okay.
We are going to actually go ahead and get certificates of participation and appreciation out to each of the students. We're hoping that you should be able to have those within the next week or so, along with the prize-winning checks as well. And then we will also be sending the program directors the plaques, the award plaques as well. So all of that will be coming to you all within the next week to 2 weeks. Okay, and if anyone has any kind of follow-up questions at all, the students, program directors, you all have my contact information. So please feel free to reach out to me at all if you have any questions. Also remember that the video of this event and then also the 2-day event are going to be posted to our ACHE of South Florida website. It will be under the student service link. And I will go ahead and send communication out to the teams once that information is posted. So again, I really would like to thank you all for joining us tonight. Great job again to the teams. And I hope you guys have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
Congrats, everybody.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.